بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. Good morning everyone. My name is Hebbal. I am a doctoral student at the University of Ouargla. I am so happy and excited to participate in this conference. The subject of my presentation is assessment of passive cooling techniques for building design in South Algeria using bioclimatic approach. This is the plan of my presentation. Firstly, I start my presentation with a short introduction. Secondly, I'll give you the main aim of this study. Next, I talk to you about the climate and bioclimate analysis of Ouargla, Ghardaya, and Elwad cities. Then I expose some passive solution found out in these cities. And finally, I conclude my presentation with a short conclusion and some recommendations. Passive cooling in local buildings is a part of traditional technologies within local environmental contexts to increase indoor climate comfort rather than mechanical system to dissipate heat. The main aim of this study is to estimate and evaluate bioclimatic approach to passive cooling for building design in Algeria South using Giovanni's bioclimatic chart and Ouargla's bioclimatic chart. This is the geographic location of the study zone. Ouargla, Ghardaya, and Liwad cities are situated in the south of Algeria, which considered the oldest cities in Algeria. Besides that, they are characterized by an arid climate with an extremely hot and long summer, cold and dry winter, and very low rainfall. Also, the average annual temperature is between 22 and 24 degrees. It exceeds 45 degrees in the warmest months. Then it comes to the relative humidity. It's less than 10% in the driest month. Also, the ambrothermic diagrams for the three regions show that almost all months of the year are considered dry. This is Giovanni's chart applied to Ouargla, Ghardaya, and Liwad cities. They show that there are two distinct periods: a cold period, a cold period from December to February that needs a passive heating, and a hot and dry period from June to September, which needs a high thermal mass with a night ventilation to get near to the comfort zone. The same result has found in the three cities. This slide highlights Ouargla's bioclimatic chart for Ouargla, Ghardaya, and Liwad cities. The line represents the main monthly minimum and maximum temperatures with the corresponding monthly relative humidity. For almost the entire year, the minimum value of temperature situated below the comfort zone, while the maximum value is a line above the area. So many passive solution has been used in ocean cities to create thermal comfort. For example, all these cities are surrounded the palm groves in order to take advantage of the air breeze. Also, the streets are very narrow and covered to reduce direct exposure to sun and sandstorms. The width of the streets doesn't exceed 2 meters. This keeps the streets almost shaded all day. Also, they are The ancient houses are usually made of local building materials. The thickness of the external walls exceed a half meter, which absorb the maximum amount of heat during the day. The wood of palm trees introduced into the roof construction. Furthermore, many underground buildings have been constructed in Ouargla and Ghardaya in order to take advantage of the passive thermal performance of geothermal. Also, the near courtyard is open from the top and the rooms open around it. It modifies the indoor climate and contributes to natural ventilation. The small windows are facing the street and are fairly high up to reduce exposure direct to the sun. Finally, in these ancient cities, people were able to live comfortably without any air conditioning system, though using local building materials with a height inertia, reducing the sun walls by shading the open space, taking advantage of the air breeze of the palm groves, and finally taking advantage of the passive thermal performance of geothermal. Before conclude, I think these ancient cities are very interesting references for adaptation to harsh climate conditions because they provide the best bioclimatic solution. These passive solutions allow providing thermal comfort with keeping a clear environment. And finally, I think that it's imperative for architect, engineer, and designer to learn more about ancient architecture in order to understand how to blend lessons from traditional technologies such as underground room, shade, massive halls, and wind tower in modern house design. Thank you for your attention.